Back in the 50s, Swift Current, Saskatchewan was a ways from the big-time showbiz circuit. That made it such a treat when someone famous did come to town, and in my memory, there was no bigger name, no one who could pack the high school auditorium like Mandrake the Magician. For Mandrake, there were dozens, even hundreds of Swift Currents. Although he had played some of the most famous theaters in the biggest cities and some of the most glamorous nightclubs, he also brought his show to small towns all across North America. Today at home near Vancouver, he doesn't travel much at all. But for thousands and thousands of people, the very name Mandrake still means magic.
Ladies and gentlemen, what follows is not aided in any way by the electronic devices of television. You will see exactly what our studio audience will see. And what you will see, you will remember as long as you live.
The most famous living magician in the world. His magic silk scarf has delighted audiences everywhere, and it's still delighting them today.
Magic is the ordinary if you understand it. To me, I understand how these things are done, so it's only something ordinary. Magic is what you don't understand. If I didn't understand it, I'd call it magic.
But what powers, other than pure magic, can make an ordinary table float above the stage with one touch from Mandrake? At 73, Mandrake no longer tries to outdo Houdini. He's given up chopping off his assistant's head. But audiences are still enthralled by something as mystifyingly simple as making a handkerchief dance.
Tire yourself all out. Look at you. You get too old for this sort of thing, Casey. Come on. Sit down.
This may be the most famous Mandrake now, but the cartoon came along after the real Leon Mandrake. The author claims any resemblance is just coincidental. What do you like doing best? Is there a kind of trick that you get the biggest kick out of?
Well, first of all, I don't like the word trick. The word has bad connotations. It means you're trying to outsmart somebody, and I never try to outsmart anybody.
You sure baffle them.
That's right. That's what I'm hoping to do. But a trick is usually to get their money or do something to deceive. I don't deceive anybody. I'm as open as I possibly can get.
Now, if you were open as you could possibly get, you'd be telling me some of your secrets.
I'll tell you how they're all done.
How are they all done?
I use every artifice I can think of. I'm not above trapdoors, mirrors, any way or means to accomplish the effect.
Great wizards are made, not born. And Mandrake began making his magic as a little boy in New Westminster. He paid a dime to see all the vaudeville matinees, trailed after the magicians, and when he was only 11, took the stage of the old Edison Theater as the Great DeWiz. He took off with a traveling troupe at 16. He learned a lot about magic and a lot more about animals. His job was to look after all the doves and pigeons, rabbits and rats. Then, with a show of his own, he crisscrossed the continent, and even in Hawaii, made headlines driving cars through town blindfolded. It was his special stunt to publicize the show, and on top of that, he'd escape from any local jail.
You look it over and say, oh yeah, this looks pretty tough. Now you walk away and you got a pretty good picture of what you're going to need to get out of there.
Oh, so you don't go in with your pockets empty all the time?
Your pockets can be empty. There's other ways to do things.
I bet you some of those southern sheriffs that said that guy ain't getting out of my jail.
You'll be surprised how they try to beat you. Oh, how they try to fix it so you won't. They'll change the locks on you at the last minute. They do all sorts of real skullduggery.
Mandrake the escape artist was not only getting out of jails, but challenging anyone to build a box that could keep him in. What's the toughest one they ever brought to?
The one down Louisiana was made out of hardwood flooring. Double walled and roped with steel cable and 4 hardwood 2x4s.
Well, how are you going to get out of that?
You don't explain them, you just do it.
And you made it.
Yeah.
Maybe you were never in the box.
Yes, I was.
And how long did it take you to get out?
Probably. Well, my limit is 3 minutes. I must escape within 3 minutes, so it was less than that.
Are you really telling me that I can't go out to my workshop and build a box that you can't get out of?
That is correct.
I've got a lot of 2x4s and a lot of
I
long
don't
spikes.
care what you got.
I'll screw it
How
together.
many people you get to help you build it?
You got out of some amazing places. How do you get out of a safe?
Well, I'm not going to tell you how, because I don't think...
No, but it doesn't
keep it
make
yourself.
sense. You have something that's been made to keep every robber in the world out, and you can emerge
That's right.
like
Keep
that.
him out. Not keep him in, keep him out. You have the answer right there. I'm not going any farther with it than that.
You mean
I told you enough now.
You mean it looks a little different from the inside?
Well, yes. It's a different picture from the inside.
Come on, if I put you in a steel barrel that's welded shut, you're not going to get out unless
Yes,
you
I
take your
am.
own torch in with you.
No torch, and I'll get out.
You're in a barrel. It's welded shut.
Mhm.
It's impossible.
Well, I'm not going to get out of it now. I don't think I can make it now. I'm too decrepit. I did. Got lots of them.
But often, there was some danger.
There is a streak of human nature that likes danger. Danger is part of their entertainment. They watch a man with a high swaying steel pole, and they don't want to see him fall, but it's that element of the guy on the high trapeze and everything.
Isn't that why they come to see you, though, being locked in a box and dumped in the ocean?
I hope not. I'd hate to think they came to see me get drowned.
Have you ever been scared?
Yes. Very, very scared. Once or twice, practically in a panic.
How? What happened?
Once that way, I was, the first time I ever did a box escape underwater. I didn't know what I was doing, and I just about flipped out. I've never done one since, or wouldn't attempt another one.
And he didn't need to. In the 30s and 40s, Mandrake was one of the top acts in the world. Later, he broke attendance records in Las Vegas and Los Angeles, played the big theaters of Europe, even went to China and to India. The act was so elaborate, he needed 2 buses for the props and his 17 assistants. More than a magician, Mandrake looked like a matinee idol, but always shared the billing with his lovely Miss Velvet.
Pretty good-looking fella.
Wasn't he a real heartthrob?
Miss Velvet has been Mandrake's wife for 30 years, and they raised 4 children.
That's wonderful.
Oh, do you like that?
You were quite the pair.
Yeah, I guess so. That was about the time we were doing the nightclub shows. They had the big stages and big backstages and the wonderful bands, just magnificent. We had a fine score of music, and it was so much fun. Working. We had a fast-paced show, and actually from the opening bar of music until the final bow, that was where the glamour was.
When vaudeville died, stage shows declined, Mandrake was perfect for the glitzy nightclubs. His show was full of fun and thrills, like sawing the lady in half.
You like that trick?
No, personally, I don't care too much for it. I do it. I have done it. I don't like it. As a matter of fact, I've done 3 different versions of it. I have the buzz saw, last version, and I've done it with a crosscut saw. And then when I started, I did a thing called sawing a lady in 2 with a ribbon. It was the best one.
What's it like to be on the receiving end, to always be the one who sawed in half? I don't know, did you have knives thrown at you or...
I had a bullet shot through my middle, and
Can you feel the audience being tense with you? Oh no, I don't want anything to happen to her.
well, Leon sort of presented it in a light vein. So we had a lot of laughs on our show too, and a lot of fun. But there may have been those who was wondering how.
Is there
how it
anything?
turned out.
Is there anything that can go wrong? You know, in every horror movie, there's a mistake, and she does get sawn in half, or the knives do go through.
Well, the illusions aren't made to kill, but then there's always that element. You never know. The freak accidents happen. Although, thank goodness, not to me.
In the past 10 years, has magic been on the way out, on the wane?
No, in the past 10 years, it's had a revival. It was pretty sick looking there for a while. Television came in. The television was the big thing that hurt all novelty acts. What we term as novelty act is an act that takes your time to learn. Singers and comedians can get material written, learn it, and put it on. And that's a gigantic maw, that television box. I mean, who's going to spend a lifetime learning to juggle 7 balls or something, and everybody in the world sees you in one evening?
Ladies and gentlemen, Mandrake, the magician.
But Mandrake conquered television, too. During the 50s, he had 2 successful TV series.
Welcome to another half hour of magical entertainment starring Mandrake, the magician, assisted by the lovely Miss Velvet, with her 2 escorts, William and George.
Illusions, hypnosis, even mind reading.
You, huh? You were thinking of a garden hose? Come on. Now, this is not just any hose you were thinking of. This is a particular type of hose.
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
plastic,
Yes.
visible,
Yes.
garden hose. Thank you.
It's not really sorcery. Mandrake had to learn it all. Learn how to read people. Learn about gadgets. The key to his magic as a child, and still today, is in, of all places, the public library of New Westminster.
To be a magician, you have to know a little more about carpentry than any carpenter. And you got to know a little more about electricity than an electrical engineer. You're a jack of all trades and usually master of none. I think that the purpose of a magic show is to teach people to think. And when you look at something that you know is impossible because it looks impossible, it makes you think about how else could it done. In other words, find a different way. And it makes you think, and you can use it to apply that to your own problems of living. I mean, if you have a problem and you run up against something, well, take another look at it. Do a little, there's got to be an answer. There's got to be a pony in there somewhere.
After 60 years of magic, and with Miss Velvet raising a family on the road, Mandrake is back home. It's finally time for even the world's most famous magician to settle down.
Were you a high roller, though, at any point? I mean, were you rolling in money?
No, I was always a little short of money, because I could never make enough to keep up with my ideas. I always wanted more people, more curtains, more wardrobe, more props.
I always loved rolling down the road, new city, new people, new adventures, and it was always exciting that way. And I really enjoyed living that way.
And the applause, it's for you, too.
Oh, well, that's fun, yeah. You like to make people happy, and when they applaud you, you know that you've made them happy.
What happens when you're not getting along? Do you ever feel like saying, go and get your own damn hat with a rabbit in it?
Oh, I must have said that a few times.
You had fun, I think.
Yeah, I did. I always enjoyed life so immensely. I never lost the magic in it. To me, magic is, as I say, what I don't understand, but it's always something I don't understand and chase. And it's fun. It's fun.
You've been playing the whole time.
You're right.
You're gonna
That's true. I never grew up.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for spending your time with us. I am more and more convinced, like older, that there's only one thing we can take of value as we go from today to tomorrow, and that's the memory of each day that we spend. All the nice people we got to know, and all the happy memories, those we can take with us. So thank you for being a kind audience.